wrapped bales on its side. That's okay. So yeah, I did 2 fairly big fields of corn during the week this week, which gave me, I think we're down about 50,000 money from last week, dollars, but that's kind of okay because we sorry, no, it was with, I sold the old tractor grain cart. That's all I sold. I bought the truck, I bought the truck's trailer, and I bought an auger wagon. And I bought the smallest auger wagon, but it's twice the size of the harvester's grain hopper. So I can unload twice while the truck is in transit, and then additionally I can by the time the truck returns to one of the distant fields, I basically got a full load for the truck in the auger. I think for corn we ended up with about 500 litres left in the auger wagon, which ain't too bad, I guess. Just gonna run around, get the bits we didn't get from the headlands. Still not seeing anything from the worker, so good thing. So I can't remember if I mentioned last week, a little bit of change of plans for the model railway. Unfortunately, because Trump's getting rid of the de minimis rule, which means I now have to pay tariffs on everything I personally import for my own personal use, regardless of how much it's worth. From the end of this month, I ended up putting a big order in for track switches so that I've got all the track switches I need to finish the track laying around the main station area, but I'm not planning to lay most of that for probably 3 or 4 months now. I was planning to get another DCC decoder and get one of my other locomotives up and available for use on the railway, but only so much I can spend money on. So it is what it is, but everything's good for now. And it might change what I'm doing and when goals. This month there was no plans to do anything visibly concrete down in the basement. It was more just a case of I need to cut shapes on a laser and try and get to the point where I can assemble the lattice base for the platform. I'm close to doing that. It looks like it's going to be as frustrating as all get out, because I'm going to have to use the pen tool, place some rectangles on the design page, and then trace around the rectangles so I get the precise bits I want to cut. The problem I'm finding is when I draw two lines using the pen tool, I can't tell how far apart they are. I can't tell if they're parallel. I can't find the tool to make them parallel or control how far apart they are. But I can put a rectangle that I know how big it is down, and then use the paint tool to trace the edges so I end up with two parallel lines once I've deleted the rectangle. That's interesting. You finished? I guess you do have. But we've still got 3 weeks left of this month to do these things, and the plan would then be that hopefully by the end of this month I've got at least the inside. Be the east platform laid or positioned, and I've tested it with some trains to make sure I'm not crashing into it. Maybe I will have the outside, although to do the outside I've got to lay some more track. I reckon my track order will be here Friday, if US Customs works the speed they usually work. Missed some grass there. I'm not going to worry too much about that. Then once those bits are placed, I can get back to track laying again, or doing some other scenery, maybe designing a station building. That usually takes a little bit of work. But I'm kind of thinking once I've figured out how to do a thing, modifying it slightly is going to be a lot easier. So once I've got the people platforms, I can put in a freight shed platform. Fairly easily. We're going to have to buy some bale net. Don't know that I have to. I don't see that's a thing. Maybe I'll have to go to the store to get some. Guess we'll find out sooner or later. So maybe September, I'll be able to do a little bit of adding a decoder to a locomotive, so I've got 3 locomotives I can run. I've also got to go through a ton of boxes that we haven't unpacked in 5 years. So I know I've got some RJ12 plugs and cable. Basically six wire telephone cable sort of stuff. But I can't find it. I found the tool to crimp the it's to trim the wires and crimp the plug onto the wires. And of course, you would normally expect, if I've got a specialist tool that can only be used for one thing, I keep it with the things that you use it with. that's not the case. So there are a bunch of boxes downstairs that have yet to be unpacked that I need to go through and see if I can find what I need. Because if I can find what I need, I've already mounted one of the cab panels to the front of the benchwork. I could, small cab costs $115, but it then allows other people to play trains while I am, or it allows me to reposition myself, so if I'm having a difficulty with something, I can go and eyeball it up close and still control the trains as they're going through. At the moment, the problem is if a train's derailing on the other end of the layout, I can't go over there to take a closer look, because when it derails, it might fall off and get all messed up. And that could be an expensive experiment. So I need to be near the controller to be able to stop a train when it comes off. And like I said, I can't do that now. I do have two fascia panels, so I can put... I've got one at the south end of the station area, and I'm going to put another one at the north end of the station area. And then I need the cables, the RJ12 cables, to connect them both together, which is why I need the stuff. I'm the guy 131. Welcome. No, this is a solar farm. Quick cover. Saturday mornings, everybody sleeps in. So I come out, I play Farming Simulator for a few hours, and I share it on Twitch. But it's not a multiplayer game. It's just me having fun, talking to whoever stops by, and but if you want to watch, you can. If you want to ask questions, you can. I have been playing the various versions of Farming Simulator for the last, good grief, 9 years, 8 years. And I'm reasonably up to date with the rules on Farming Simulator 25. Some of the differences, previous versions. And I also watch real-life YouTube farmers to get an idea of how farming's supposed to work when you're not playing a game. I started on 17. There was some quite nice changes from 17 to 19. I think for, you know, a lot of the time when they do put a change in, it's not something necessarily that makes the game better to play, but once you start playing it, you come to appreciate the additions they've made. So I have noticed, I think there's definitely been some sound improvements on 25, and while it doesn't make the game more or less playable, I appreciate, you know, the crunch of the tires on gravel tracks and stuff like that. The previous version, I noted that the tipper trailers started clanging when you know, when metal hit metal, or the back door swung shut, and again, it creates an immersion that wasn't there on previous versions, but it doesn't make the game itself more or less enjoyable. the deforming land on 25. Really, I couldn't care less. I know some people want, what is it, Snow Runner or Mud Runner, whatever it is, like style ground where you can get stuck in ruts. I'm playing a farming simulator game, and while I appreciate that, yes, tractors get stuck in the mud, I'm not playing the game for that. But it's, you know, you want to add it, that's fine. If you don't want to add it, that's also fine. Or I can turn it off. If I can turn it off, that's also fine. For the longest time, I've been playing without stones on the field. Except, I think the end of Farming Simulator 22, I did some tests, and it's like, oh, and your equipment will age faster if it's running over field with stones in. It was almost negligible. And, you know, the price it costs to fix a baler, a mower, a cultivator is so little that, you know, if it's getting damaged 10% quicker because there's rocks on the field, I'm going to have to play like 500 hours on the farm for it to make a slight bit of difference. So, quite frankly, not a problem. And I quickly deduced at the beginning that, to be perfectly honest, the stone... Oops, that was the wrong button. I need to start the engine. Excuse me while I figure things out. Right, there we go. The collecting stones and selling them, again, you've got to collect a ton of stones in order to make it financially worthwhile to buy a stone picker. So I don't even bother buying stone pickers either. I tend to concentrate, when I start a new farm, I tend to concentrate on the stuff that will make me money. So planting a crop, fertilizing a crop is a good idea and quite cost effective, but mulching a field, rolling a field, they add so little to it and the equipment costs so much. It's not really a great idea, you know, to spend money you don't necessarily have. I would much rather buy a field than I would buy a roller, because the end of the field creates more planting opportunities and crop selling opportunities. So I make more money that way. Eventually you get to the point where I have so many crops in the ground that getting an extra 5% on every single field by rolling them, actually it makes sense. So the farm has to be bigger to have the more better equipment. And the same with big, how do I do that? Yes, I need some of that. Oh. We'll just do the standard. And we'll finish this off. But yeah, having big equipment, so long as I can do the jobs I need to do in a day, I don't need bigger equipment. Those deer are doing exactly what the deer in my backyard do. Oh, you've just cut the grass, we need to come and eat some of it. So while I would like a bigger baler, I don't need a bigger baler because it's, you know, at 3 times speed it's 9:15. We started at 8 o'clock, so it's taken me an hour to cut and bale the field. I don't need more things. I will park this here, I think. I use this to go and get bale collector. Nice map, this. We do have some quite nice equipment. The what is it? the harvester is a good size. It's not like a starter harvester. But the fields are big, so the harvester, you're still... You need a harvester the size they've given us, because it really does take time to harvest the size of fields we have. Normally I play an English map. Oh look, somebody wants to be banned. Seriously? Block. Report. Blah. Next. Blah. Next. Submit report, block this user, and have fun. So what was I saying? I normally play English farms, less often European farms. I almost never play American farms. But this did look to be the more interesting of the farm maps available. It was available in Farm Sim 22, but I didn't play it in Farm Sim 22, so this is new to me. I've got no idea what upgrades were done to the map between versions. And one of the reasons I don't necessarily like maps this size is because the size of the fields means that if I have to harvest a field, it's probably going to take a few hours. On a smaller UK map, while I have smaller equipment, harvesting a field will take 30 minutes to an hour. And I can do more stuff in the 3 hours I play on a Saturday than I can do on this farm. Now, because all we're doing is grass cutting today, that's actually not too big of a problem, because it doesn't take long to cut one field, and it's a single field. On other maps I've had 3 or 4 fields, and you're traveling between the fields and the workers are having problems. There's no fences here, hedges or trees close to the field, so the workers just aren't getting as hung up on this map as they do normally.